What's going on, football fans? I'm back, alive and well. Hopefully sound better today than yesterday. I've felt better today, just I'm coughing a lot, so luckily I can edit this out when I do cough, so we'll get through the video. Anyway, today we're talking about NFL teams that are actual Super Bowl contenders. There will be teams every year that make the playoffs, but you know in the back of your mind, they're not actually Super Bowl contenders. Like Washington made the playoffs last year and probably some other bad teams. It happens every year. So we're going to go over in the video which teams do I think are legit and actually have a chance of winning the Super Bowl in February of 2022. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave in the comments which ones you agree and disagree with, and let's get into it. Let's start with the AFC because A comes before N, so screw it, we'll go that way. Just to be fair. So we'll go down in order of like the current list of the seedings in the NFL right now. Number one's the Baltimore Ravens. They are 8-3. They're still in it. Baltimore does have flaws, I must say. Their defense in the past, of course, the Ray Lewis and Ed Reed days, and even beyond that, they've always been known for their defense, but their secondary this year has not been great. Losing Marcus Peters to the ACL injury has been tough for them. So their defense is not what it used to be. I have concerns about that. I have concerns that at times Lamar Jackson, we just saw it last game against Cleveland, will just be very turnover happy and make a lot of bad decisions. And we know about Lamar in the playoffs. Now, I do think at some point in Lamar's career, if he does play this well for a long time, he will eventually reach a Super Bowl. I don't know if he'll win one because it's tough, but I think he will get there eventually. I just think right now there's some bad habits on his side, and it's not really his fault. They don't have a great running back on that team, and I'm the first person to say running backs are replaceable, but when you're replacing J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards with washed-up Latavius Murray and kind of washed-up Devontae Freeman and at the time, washed up Le'Veon Bell, you have Tyson Williams. Like, it's tough to survive that way. So Baltimore used to be such a solid, stacked team up and down, but now there's some holes in that team due to all the injuries. Yes, they're 8-3 in a great spot. I have my concerns. I think if things do break right, they can win a Super Bowl, but based on the injuries, I think it's tough, and they definitely would not be my first pick right now, that's for sure. Number two, we have the New England Patriots in the AFC, and this is a team that is just very solid up and down, and they're built perfectly for the playoffs. So no surprise, of course, you know, that's a team that has a history of going to the playoffs every year and expects to win Super Bowls. Really, the one thing I can say to bring Patriots and their fans down is that a rookie quarterback has never won a Super Bowl, and that's it. Like, that's pretty much all I can say to kind of just take any hope away from Patriots fans out there. I guess their run defense could be better. It's a little vulnerable, but outside of that, they have every reason, and you know, there's as good a chance as any team out there to win a championship. But just the one thing, of course, and this is now, how many years has the NFL been around? A long time, like 50 something, 60, I think it's like late 50s now, but the NFL has been around forever, and a rookie quarterback's never won a Super Bowl. So I don't think a rookie's ever made the Super Bowl. So I know first-year starters have won it. Like, I think Tom Brady as a first-year starter did it, and Kurt Warner, but a rookie quarterback's never won the Super Bowl as a starter. So that's where I'm like, I don't know. So that's concerning, of course, but outside of that, the Patriots are just built up and down to last, and their defense has been incredible lately. So that's a tough team, of course, and I want to see how they play against Buffalo on Monday. I picked Buffalo to win that game, so we'll see how it goes, but maybe I'm a slight non-believer in the Patriots, but I do respect what they have going on right now, and definitely a team I would not want to play in the playoffs. Next, we have the Tennessee Titans as the 3 seed. They are 8-4. They've had some really impressive wins this year. The Rams come to mind. The Bills come to mind as well in that very close matchup they had. It just comes down to getting healthy for them. I mean, look at some of the injuries and some guys in the IR for them. Monty Rice, the rookie linebacker they have. A.J. Brown, of course, just hit IR. Bud Dupree's in IR till week 15 at least. Julio Jones and Derrick Henry. Getting Derrick Henry back for that team is so huge. Without him, it's hard to have much of an offensive identity, and unfortunately for Titans fans, they really have not seen many games, like maybe like 2 or 3, of seeing their big 3 of Henry and Julio and A.J. Brown. It's kind of like being a Nets fan, not seeing Kyrie, Harden, and KD play together last year. But if they get those guys back, and even their rookie cornerback, Caleb Farley, he's a good player as well. I saw Kevin Byard's on the COVID list. So many guys are out right now. Now, they should make the playoffs regardless. They play in a pretty bad division, of course, having Jacksonville in there and some other joke team. I think the Texans too, yeah. So They should make the playoffs, of course, but just getting healthy is my main concern. I don't think Tannehill is good enough to carry this team without Derrick Henry behind them, so they got to get him back. If Henry's back and Julio's back and healthy and they get some defensive pieces back, sure, but I'm going to say they probably are not in contention because that's just asking for a lot to happen, so sorry, Titans fans. Going to go with no on that one. Number 4, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. They are 7-4. They've won how many games in a row? Like 3, 4? They've won a lot in a row. They've been a really good team lately. Now first place in the West once again. They, take over from the Chargers. They took it away from the Raiders, I think, at one point they had it. So the Chiefs are back. I think they are. I think they figured out some stuff on defense. I know they've had some pretty underwhelming games recently offensively. They only put up 20 points against the Giants a few weeks ago. They put up, I think, 19 against the Cowboys last time they played before the bye. So, their offense has not been the greatest, but we know they can turn it on whenever they want, really. And what it comes down to for the Chiefs, of course, is their defense. And they have to stop the run better. I think their secondary is good enough. I'm not too confident in it, but their run defense is what scares me. Guys like Derek Nottie and all of them have to step up. And if they do, and they do stop the run, then I think it's possible because stopping the run in the playoffs is a lot more important, of course. And if they face a Derrick Henry-led Titans team at that point, then that might be a bad matchup for them. So if they do stop the run, the Chiefs, of course, have a chance of making it back. I'm not going to bet against them. They've been there twice in a row. Should have been 3 times. Sorry, Chiefs fans, but I can't bet against those guys. I think they have a good as chance as anybody, and they're pretty healthy right now, so they have that going for them as well. The Cincinnati Bengals hold the first wild card spot here, the 5th seed. They are 7-4 right now. This is a scary team that has everything coming together at the right time, and Joe Mixon's been a madman lately. He's getting 30 carries a game, but they're making it work, and Joe Burrow is not asked to throw the ball 50 times a game. He's just basically being a good game manager right now, which is perfect for that offense. And their offensive line, honestly, they did a good job of fixing that. There was so many concerns about passing on Penei Sewell. Looked like they made the right choice there, I think, so far, because Jamar Chase has looked great. Slowed down a bit lately, but eventually that rookie wall was coming. He has to get better, though, of course, once the playoffs do come around. But they signed Riley Reif at right tackle. That's worked out very nicely for them. And their defensive line, I know as a Giants fan, getting to the quarterback in the playoffs is very important. And that team with Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson and former Giant B.J. Hill, they have guys that can get to the quarterback. And if they can do that and run on teams, and when the teams that they're facing stop the run, they can pass on you with Joe Burrow to Tyler Boyd to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and CJ Uzomah. They have every answer out there. So the Bengals are low-key scary. And it's funny because 2 years ago, that team was just awful. First overall pick. It must be nice to rebuild your team in 2 years, I must say. Must be nice. But yeah, the Bengals are, I think they're as legit as anybody. So I'm very excited to see how they look because I think anything could happen. Of course, the Bengals could fall off, and maybe I'm just sipping the Kool-Aid too much right now. But as of today, the Bengals are very legit, and I think they have a good chance of actually making it far in the playoffs. So we end here with the 6th seed Bills and the 7th seed Chargers. I'll go over the Bills first. Though the Bills right now are 7-4. They were a popular Super Bowl pick before the year started, and there's some concerns I have about this team. I mean, one is that they can't run the ball. We saw this last year, I think the year before as well. They're so desperate now that they're using Matt Breida as their featured back, I think. So it's getting to a very desperation point for them, but they've been very inconsistent offensively. They started out slow the first couple weeks, then they blew out the Texans 45-10. Their offense was back on track for a few weeks, then it was down again, then they just killed the Saints on Thanksgiving. So maybe they're finding it once again at the right time in the year, but the big injury is they lost their cornerback one, Tre'Davious White, on defense. Now guys like Levi Wallace has to step up, so that's a concern for me. When you lose your cornerback one, a player as good as him, that definitely sucks. And they have a tough time running the ball offensively. They lost their best defensive player. They have some things going against them, and Josh Allen has made some very bad decisions this year, so that's a concern for me. I think based on their roster being good up and down, their coaching being good, it is possible they win the Super Bowl, but I'm not going to pick them to win, of course, but there is still a chance. I will say that. As for the Chargers at 6-5, I would love to say yes, but I just can't take them seriously. They can't stop the run and they can't tackle. If you can't do those things, I don't know how you win a Super Bowl. Their offense is flashy. I like it. I like Justin Herbert a lot. Austin Eckler's great. Keenan Allen's great. Mike Williams having a nice year for himself, but I just can't take that team seriously until they fix things defensively. They can't tackle anybody. So until that changes, they're just not a serious contender for me right now. Some other teams that are still on the bubble here, the Broncos, they can't win with Teddy Bridgewater. Don't think so. The Raiders, no, don't see that happening. The Colts are interesting, but they have to get in first. I mean, right now they're 6-6. They're still a game back, I think, or a half game back. So if the Colts get in, I could see it. They're probably the most likely of any team right now that's not in the playoffs, but I still would not pick them either. So that's pretty much where I stop there. For the AFC, the legitimate contenders, the ones I feel really good about, are the Patriots, the Chiefs, and the Bengals. I think those are the three right now in the AFC I feel the best about. On to the NFC, the 9-2 Arizona Cardinals. So this is a team that I think was projected to finish last in their division. Now they're first in the entire conference, which is crazy. So quite a turnaround. They went 2-1, I believe, with their backup quarterback, who is a guy I forget now. I should know this as a Giants fan. What the hell is his name? Colt McCoy. There it is. Colt McCoy. Finally got it 20 seconds later. All right, so the Cardinals, though, have been in a good spot, and they should get Kyler Murray back this week, if not very soon. DeAndre Hopkins nursing the hamstring issue could be back this week as well, but that team does have some leeway because of their record and have a chance to get fully healthy. So getting that first round bye would be great. They play Chicago this week. They should win that game, of course. They are on the road, but they should win that game. But Arizona, I mean, they have some defensive deficiencies. Their secondary still scares me a bit outside of their safeties. Their cornerbacks are a bit iffy to me, but there's a chance they get J.J. Watt back now for the playoffs I saw, so that would definitely help a lot. J.J. was playing at a pretty high level when he was healthy, so that would help them, of course. Their pass rush has been really good this year, so that's definitely going to help them in the playoffs. And their offense, I mean, I want to see if this Cliff Kingsbury offense can hold up in the playoffs. It looks great, you know, indoors on like that fast track, of course, but I want to see how it looks when it's like, you know, January and cold outside. They have to play at Green Bay or something. I want to see how it looks there. So I'm still a bit like, I still have my questions about this team, but they're in a good spot roster-wise. I mean, I do like Cliff Kingsbury more than most people do, it seems like, but I still don't know if this team is Super Bowl bound, but they could get close. I will put it that way. 2 seeds, the Green Bay Packers. They're 9-3, and they have some injuries to go over as well. Definitely guys worth noting. Elton Jenkins, who was filling in for Bakhtiari at left tackle, was having a great year. He tore his ACL, I believe. He's done. Whitney Merciless, who they traded for, is now hurt. I forget if he's coming back or not, but he's not eligible to return until week 15. Robert Tonyan's out for the year. Jair Alexander, who's a great cornerback, one of the best in football, has not played in a while. He should be back soon, hopefully. Za'Darius Smith's one of the best edge rushers in football. He's been out for a while. So they should get some of those guys back. And once they do, the Packers should be even better. And I do hope this is the year they actually figure it out, because I love Aaron Rodgers. I want him to win another ring. I feel like he deserves it. There obviously was a lot of turmoil last offseason about Rodgers not wanting to be in Green Bay and all that, but right now they have a great record and they're clicking. They're like a really good team against the spread and everything. Right now they're just beating teams by a lot of points and they're playing very well. Like, their defense is actually stepping up, and we've seen it before with Aaron Rodgers. A lot of times when they get to the playoffs, their defense collapses, but as long as the defense does not collapse for once, this could be the year for the Packers. So I feel really good about their chances. I think they're as good as anybody right now, so Green Bay is definitely a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Next, we have the Buccaneers, who are 8-3, and once again, just like the Packers, their chances are as good as anybody. Of course, they won it last year. And they need some guys healthy in their secondary, of course. Richard Sherman and Carlton Davis, I believe, are still out. So that, of course, is important. But, you know, that team can do everything. They run the ball well this year. Even Leonard Fournette's having a great year. Tom Brady, of course, is having a good year. He's had a couple of games, maybe 3 actually, with multiple interceptions. So that, of course, is a bit concerning. But if Tom Brady can avoid those type of games, this team is fine. Their defense is still legit, and their offense is putting up, I think, over 30 points per game. So this team should have no problems. As long as they're healthy going into the playoffs, their chances are very high, and they have a very good chance of getting back to the Super Bowl if things break right for them. Number 4 is the Dallas Cowboys, who are 7-4. Just please don't let this be the year it actually happens, please. But you know, this is a team that, I have to be honest, is built very nicely up and down. They have a good offensive line. They can now get to the passer. Micah Parsons is a beast, as we know, and they have good receivers. They have 2 good running backs now. I mean, Zeke, I don't know if he's good anymore, but he's all right. But Tony Pollard's great. So, you know, Dak Prescott's a pretty good quarterback these days, and their defense has gotten a lot better. I mean, they can kind of stop the run now, which was a massive issue last year. They have created turnovers in the secondary. They are kind of beatable in the secondary, though, so that's a concern I have. But it just feels like with Dallas, something's always going to go wrong. So until they actually prove it to me, I can't pick them to win the Super Bowl because I've seen it my entire lifetime. Something always goes wrong for this team. So I will say no right now, and hopefully I'm right. But, you know, it could happen because they have a good roster up and down once again. The number 5 seed is the Los Angeles Rams, who are 7-4. I'm very familiar with their situation. I just made a video about them yesterday. So the thing that concerns me about them is just Matthew Stafford's health. If he's actually injured, then how far can that team actually go if John Wolford is their quarterback? Not very far, I would assume. So if he's not playing and they have Robert Woods out, like that's a lot to just, you know, take in there. So that's probably not going to happen. But let's say Matthew Stafford is actually healthy and they stop turning the ball over so much, then they'll be fine. Like the problem with the losing streak here, and the reason they have not won since October 31st, is because they turn the ball over so much. They've had 7 turnovers in the past 3 games, which is terrible. And they've allowed, I think, more sacks in the past 3 games than they had in the first 8. So their offensive line's not playing well. And, you know, the Rams have stuff to fix, but it is fixable. So I'm not, like, concerned about them long term, but they got to get some wins here, get themselves in a good playoff matchup, and I trust Sean McVay as a head coach. So they'll figure it out, and I still think they have a very good shot at winning the whole thing. Number 6 is the San Francisco 49ers, who are 6-5 now. They kind of built their way back up here after a slow start. I mean, I want to believe in this team because they are such a good roster up and down, but it's just hard to imagine Jimmy Garoppolo being a Super Bowl quarterback. I know he won one with the Patriots as a backup, and he got there in 2019. They were so close with the Emmanuel Sanders catch to actually winning the whole thing. But I just feel like everything went so perfectly for them that year. We've already seen some injuries with Kittle, and we saw an injury now with Deebo Samuel. So, you know, if one guy goes down, that can change the entire thing. So I don't feel great about their chances, but I'm not going to act like they have no chance. They definitely have a chance. It's just not a high chance. So I'm not going to sit here and predict that. So right now I'll say no. But there's a lot of ifs. If Deebo's healthy, if Kittle's healthy, if Ayuk stays healthy, if their pass rush stays healthy, if those type of things happen, then maybe it's possible. But it's a lot of what ifs and all that, so I don't want to sit here and say they have a good chance because I don't think that's the case. But miracles happen and Super Bowl runs do happen, so there is a chance. I'll put it that way. For the 7th seed, the Washington football team is now 5-6. It's crazy how a 5-6 team's in the playoffs. I don't get it. Hopefully that changes though, but Washington's been on a nice little streak lately. I think a 3-game win streak here. I just can't see a Taylor Heineke-led team winning a Super Bowl, I have to be honest. I mean, there's a chance they win a playoff game, but making it to the Super Bowl, even winning the thing, probably not going to happen. It's a nice story. They're probably an elite quarterback away from being like a really good contender and all that, but, you know, they might win a playoff game. I just don't see it going much further than that. For the other teams that are on the bubble right now, you know, I liked the Saints earlier, but without Jameis Winston, they have not won a game yet. They're on right now, and Taysom Hill's missing throws, so it's not much of a surprise. The Atlanta Falcons at 5-6, probably not happening. That team is just not good. I don't know how they have 5 wins in the first place. The Vikings is interesting. I just, once again, can't see Kirk Cousins winning a Super Bowl, but that team I feel like is better than the record says they are. I think the Vikings can actually win a couple of playoff games, but I don't know if they'll win the Super Bowl. I can't see that one happening, but I do think they can beat a team and upset somebody, kind of like the Saints a couple years ago. I could see that one happening, but I don't know. That might have been last year, actually, the Saints game. I forget. But yeah, I could see the Vikings getting in there and winning a game or two, but winning the Super Bowl, I don't see that happening. So that will do it. I'll go over once again the teams I feel really good about having a chance to win it all here. The Patriots, the Chiefs, the Bengals, and kind of the Bills and kind of the Ravens. Then on the NFC side, kind of the Cardinals. I feel good about the Packers, feel good about the Buccaneers, kind of the Cowboys, although something will go wrong for them. I feel good about the Rams, kind of the 49ers, and that's about it. Like there's only like, what, 5-6 teams I feel really good about. So, you know, it's pretty much how it is every year. We know who the real Super Bowl contenders are. But hey, crazy things happen every year. Not many times things go the way we expect them to go. At this time last year, a lot of people thought Tampa sucked, so you never know. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys next time.